going with it. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So this is Kourtney with Scrapbook-N-Memories, and I'm a little nervous because we are here taking over Deanna's Facebook page today to introduce you guys and show you all about the Crafter's Essential Layers. And of course, if you watched Deanna's Crafty Hour this morning, you saw that Facebook was acting up. So right before we went live, our other phone was acting up, so I had to switch phones, and now our view's a little different, but we're going with it. We're going with it. It's going to be a fabulous day. So welcome all Clipper Street company. I'm just going to kind of let you guys sign on, say hello, make sure everybody's on, because I do not want you guys to miss anything about these. Thank you, Deanna. She's on moderating for us. So I kind of demoed these a little bit when I was playing with the prototypes. So we've probably had prototypes maybe 3 months maybe. I always, when we're doing a new tool or a new item, as I'm doing something, I'm like, what am I struggling with when I'm crafting? Or what am I struggling with when I'm making cards? Because everybody else has to be struggling with the same thing I am. So I make up prototypes. We play with the prototypes. We see what's working, what's not working, where's the struggles at. And this is what we came up with. So much like our rulers, our Crafter's Essential Rulers, which Deanna has those too, these crafty corners are going to be very similar in that if you're familiar with the rulers, they are laser etched. So on the back side of them, they're divoted. They are laser etched. So all of them are going to come white, but if you want them in dark, you can color them black. And I'll show you a little bit later on how to do this. I didn't ask Deanna, did I have a time limit? What's new at 2 is usually an hour, right? So it's going to be kind of the same concept. So what we are calling these are the Crafter's Essential Layers, because this is what's going to help you build your layers. Like this, it's going to build your perfect layers. I know a lot of us are not good eyeballers, and we keep shaving a little off, and then we move it, we lay it, and it's never where we want it. So this is what's going to give us those perfect layers all the way around. So Canadian pricing on this is $29.99 on these. What you're going to get is one base platform. Now this piece right here is the base platform, which is your most important piece. Grabbing another piece of black cardstock because the layers are great, but unless you have the proper dimensions of all your pieces of paper, the layers aren't going to layer in, and they're not going to layer properly. So you have to have your measurements, and we did all the math on this for this, so we will do this. Yes, just comment on here if you're one of Clipper Street's customers, and they will get you taken care of. So Deanna says just comment here. Huh? And these are pre-orders. So sorry, we're just skipping everywhere because everybody's kind of got questions. So you're going to get one base platform and 8 layering guides. And I'm not used to this. My customers are like, tell me more. And Deanna's customers are like, sold. I don't even care. Sold. We trust you. Sold. 8 layering guides, which these are going to be your layering guides. They go all the way from 3/4 of an inch down to 1/8 of an inch. And you know how we love our 8ths and 16ths. They're all going to be measured. And then, so Deanna is saying if you order these by Friday, because she has to put in a pre-order for these and get them to you in time, August 5th. They will be at Clipper Street in store August 5th, as long as you pre-order by Friday. Now, no discounts on it. I know usually she said she does like a 10% discount on Facebook Live stuff. Because of the nature of these items, there will not be a discount on them. So it's $29.99 Canadian. And if you want multiple sets, get multiple sets, because you know you're going to want to give them, as your friends are going to have FOMO. They're going to want gifts and things. And there goes my phone. Sorry, guys. I'm not using my regular phone, and I'm using a different phone, and it's so heavy for the stand that it slowly just keeps going down. So I guess we'll just keep going on it. Okay, so your base piece, the most important piece is this. This is your base piece. So this is how you're going to do your layers, or how you're going to do your pieces. So if you have an A2 piece of paper and you want a 1/16 of an inch layer, this is what you're going to cut your piece of paper to. If you have an 1/8 of an inch layer that you want, here's what you're going to cut your piece of paper with. So this is your cuts, because you're going to have your cuts. Now, not all your layers are going to be A2, I realized. So we did the math for you. The math is what is going to be very, very important for this. Your layers. Let's say you want to use the 1/8 inch layer. Well, that's great, but what size do you cut your piece of paper? Because you need it to be proper so it goes all the way around all 4 sides, because you want that 1/8 of an inch perfect. So you need to have the math to do this. And then you're like, ooh, well, what's the math? How do I do this? So if you want to use a 1/8 of an inch, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your piece, and if we're using the layer that is an 1/8 of an inch, we're going to either add a 1/4 of an inch if you want the layer to be bigger, or you are going to take away a 1/4 of an inch if you want it smaller. Okay, so we'll do this. Any questions? Are we good? They're all just like sold. And then, so here's some that we did in crafty hours where we had the 1/8 of an inch for our 3 layers, and it's perfect all the way around it. Again, I used them here on this and did a 1/4 of an inch. So it can be used for other pieces, just not squares or rectangles. You can use them for other shapes. So we had done that in a crafty hour. So on that, the price is $29.99 on these, and you get the base and your layers. So your layers, I'll say, you have an 1/8 of an inch, you have 3/16, a 1/4 of an inch, 5/16, 3/8, a 1/2 an inch, 5/8, 3/4 of an inch are your layers there, okay? And so let's kind of see how you just do the layers in action, and then we'll come back and show you how to kind of like cut your layers and do your pieces. So your base layer is great because you can use that base layer in any of your stamping platforms to kind of sit it in the corner. And that piece will have all your measurements in it, and this is what you're going to work on. So let's say I have my piece of paper, it's already cut. Your base layer is going to go right there in that corner. See it? Just going to sit it right in the corner. Then your other piece, so we're going to do an 1/8 of an inch layer on here. You're going to take your 1/8 of an inch layer and you stick that right in the corner there. So now you can see the 1/8 of an inch is on your blue all the way around. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on there, maybe, and you just pop it in the corner, press it down, and there you, whoops, put more adhesive on it, Kourtney. Okay, sorry. See, I'm all flustered. My camera keeps going. Okay, you press it in the corner, you press down your adhesive, you have your perfect layer all the way around it. Now let's say we want to do a layer again. So we're going bigger. And these I pre-cut just for save us time, but I'll show you guys how to cut them again. So we have our larger piece. We put our 1/8 of an inch on there. We're going to put some adhesive on the back. We're going to just plop it there in the corner, press on your adhesive, and look at that. So each time you're going to have that perfect layer going around and around and around. I'm going to put my base layer in again, put my 1/8 of an inch in, put my adhesive, just butt that guy in the corner and press, and there's our next layer. So it's just going to keep layer, 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 layer all the way. Now on that one, these are all in 1/8 of an inch layers. You could mix different layers in. So this one here is a 1/4 of an inch layer. So if you look, you can see it just has that larger frame around it. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, Deanna is taking orders now for all the Clipper Street Company customers. So just say sold and how many sets you want, and they will get you taken care of. You can mix your layers. See how we have those on there? Yes, Glory, it'll still work if you have your items gutted because you're always working on the two outer edges. So you'll be ignoring what's in the center. You'll be working on your two outer edges on those. So let's just do one from start to finish, okay? So I've got a standard size piece of card. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, okay? 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So that is an A2 piece of paper. And you're always layering it in this corner, so that will be your starter piece. Now, let's say I want a layer that is 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So I'm going to find my layer, and on the corner of these layers, if you look, we laser etched all of your numbers, so they're all marked for you, okay? We're going to lay that guy in the corner. Now, we need a piece of paper that is 3 3/4 by 5, 3 3/4 by 5, in order to have that 1/4 inch all the way around the edge. So see, we did the math for you guys. Math is hard some days. So we did it for you. So I'm just going to lay him in, and 3 3/4 by 5 is what we need to cut this at. Okay, 3 3/4 by 5. Now, I'm not going to actually fasten these down yet because I'm going to show you some other things too with them. So there's our white. We have our layer in there, and then we put our layer in, and notice we've got our white perfectly aligned all the way around the outside. Okay? So let's say we want to have a layer inside of this. When you're working inward, it starts getting a little trickier if you want to double them up or do the same thing. So let's say we want to do a 1/2 inch. So my next one, I'm just stacking it right on top. And actually, let me just go ahead and glue this blue one down because we're going to say we're committed to it. We're committed, right? So I've got my white butted up. I got my 1/4 inch in. I've got my first blue layer down. So there's our blue layer. But let's say now we want to do a 1/2 inch. So this one is a 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to put the 1/2 inch right there because we want a blue border of a 1/2 inch. Now let me find a pen and paper so I can kind of visually show you guys what I mean here. So this blue piece of paper is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, 3 3/4 by 5 is our measurement of this blue right here. I want another piece inside, and let's say it's what's laying in front of me, white. I've got a piece of white cardstock. Let's say we want a piece of white cardstock that's going to frame right inside of that, but we need it a 1/2 inch smaller than this, or we want to use our 1/2 inch. So we go over here to our guide, and I want a 1/2 inch border all the way around it. What it means is now I go over here and it says I need to plus or minus 1 inch. So I need to do minus 1 inch. So we're going to do 2 3/4 minus 1 inch equals 4. Now, for those of us that are visual, when it comes into doing inches and quarters and things like that, let's say I'm at 1 inch and I need to do minus 3/4 of an inch. I usually look at my ruler and I'm like, ooh, minus 1/4. Okay, that's 3/4. Or minus 3/8. 1, 2, 3. That's 9 1/16. So I use my ruler as a visual to kind of count backwards. if you're not good at subtracting fractions that are odd numbers, which I am not. So I'm a visual person. So I pull out my ruler and I subtract those. Okay, so now we're cutting a piece of paper that's 2 3/4 by 4. I wonder if this scrap is 2 3/4. No, that's crazy talk. Okay, scrap a piece of paper. I need it 2 3/4 by 4. I know, right? It's a little bit of a math lesson, but if you have your ruler, we did all the math for you. So all the math is on here. You don't have to think about it because we told you if this is the layer you want to use, this is the math you're going to use. Otherwise, you would be in your head thinking, well, what's that? What does that equal? What's that? So now look at that white piece. It is perfect all the way around it. Do you see that? Do you see easy math? Just follow the guides on your base platform. So your base platform is going to have all the measurements on there for you. And we just lay that on there. And let me take all these pieces off. And looky there. There are your perfect layers on that. Does everybody kind of get it? It's easy once you get the hang of it. So what you're going to do is, and you don't even have to, if this is to help you create fun different layers, like on here I did funky different layers. If you want to do funky layers, it is, voila, the math is there for you. So if you have this little white piece of paper right here, that little white piece of paper is 3/4 of an inch by 3. So 3/4 of an inch by 3. Let's say we want to use the layer that is 1/8 of an inch. We need to add 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so you just add 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch added to 3/4 is 2. 1 3/4 is 2. So the ruler goes hand in hand with the little grid to kind of give you those pieces to get you to layer them up. Now, we all know Deanna loves her 1/16 of an inch. I tried to make a 1/16 of an inch on these acrylic pieces and they kept breaking. And that makes me sad because we don't want a tool that breaks and we don't want something that's not going to last. So what I did, and this isn't precise, but it gets you a little bit on there. What I did is on here, on your base tool, you're going to see a little line. Now it doesn't have a bumper or anything on it. You're just going to have to line it up. It has a little line for a 1/16 of an inch. So basically what you do if you want to use that one is you take your cardstock and you line it up with that skinny little line, and then you put, let me just find a scrap piece of paper. It won't even be cut. Okay, this will only be right on 2 sides because I'm not cutting the paper. We're just kind of doing a quick little demo. But what you would do is you would lift up your base, okay? You lift up your base, and you are going to line up that little piece of purple or your piece of paper, whatever you're doing, with that score line. And it is a score line. It's not going to be a divot. You're not pushing it up into the corner like you are the other piece. You're just kind of putting it up to that little divot. And then you're going to put your next piece on and push it down. And this was just for a quick demo, so I did not cut it down on all the sides. And here is your 1/16 of an inch on that. See how you have that itty bitty little 1/16 of an inch. You know Deanna loves that. She loves her little edges. Okay? And this is how my brain works. What sizes do we want to use? What do we want to use? What do we want to have? When I first showed it to Deanna, she, I think, was kind of like, that's not how I would have used it. And I'm like, oh, okay. How would you have used it? So let me just grab a little embellishment on this. Just grabbing a random embellishment in my bag of embellishments. And you know, sometimes when you're doing a class and let's just take this guy here. And Deanna tells you to glue it down, about a quarter, about a half an inch from the top. And everybody goes, where's a half an inch from the top? You could take your half an inch and you stick it on there, and there's a half an inch down, half an inch from the side. That's where you put your embelly. So you could also use it as an eyeballer to know how far down, how far in to put your embellishment. Yep. Okay, do we have any questions? I'm trying to watch everybody rolling through. I think Deanna is taking care of it. On that. Okay, any questions so far? So these are what we're calling the Crafter's Essential Layers. The base piece is the key because this is what we're going to do. Gotcha, Kay. Ken's on moderating too and answering questions. So you're going to want that base piece for your layers. And maybe you don't want to do the math and you just want to do a quarter of an inch on all of them. That's great. You can do a quarter inch on all of them and do your layers. Now, this guy, like I said, is, let me grab my cardstock out of the way. I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel because I do not want paint on my beautiful new white mat on there. So these are laser etched, much like our Crafter's Essential Rulers. And I don't have a black one yet, so I'm going to make a black one. What you do is you can take just your little blendy tool, just a little bit of acrylic paint, squeeze it out, just a dot, not a lot, and you're going to work it into your little blendy tool. Then you're just going to take it and you're going to buff it onto the back side. This is acrylic. It is laser engraved. So the paint is going to go down into those laser engraved areas. And this is just Dina Wakley paint I'm using. You can use whatever paint you have, just as long as it's acrylic. I think some people said they've used a Sharpie marker and scribbled on it. It works. You could use, you could use teal. You can use whatever color you want. Then you're just going to take a dry paper towel and I'm just buffing off the excess. So for those of you that say white is hard to see, that's okay. You can do black. For those of you who say black is hard to see, leave it white. Maybe you want one for dark surfaces, one for light surfaces. I do that for my rulers. I have a dark one and a light one because it depends on if I'm working on blue and I want to see it, or if I'm working on orange and you want to see it. So different colors are going to show up on different things. Okay? Ken, have you seen any questions pop up that I got to do, or is Deanna's on them all, isn't she?
Yeah, we're good.
So now we have a version that has all of our black on it. And all I did is just buff some acrylic paint on it. And now you can kind of see that little 1/16 of an inch really kind of pop out. Oh, when they come to you, I need to address that too. Can you grab me one, hun? When they come to you, they are going to have a protective layer on them because we're going to ship them with this protective layer on them because we didn't want them to get scratched up when they're coming to you, shipping to you. So all you're going to do is you're just going to, and most of them we leave these little flappers on, or just take your fingernail, whatever you got, and you're just going to peel this backing off, and then they'll be clear. So you'll have backing on one side. That way, this is how we're going to ship them so they don't get scratched and banged up and messed up. They will have this protective paper on them. So if you get yours and you're like, mine's not clear, I think I got the wrong ones. You got the right ones. It just has the protective layer on them. Okay, any other questions?
They don't ask near as many questions as our customers.
They don't ask questions, do they? They're just like, sold. Now I got black on that, and it makes me sad.
That was the whole point of that.
So, Crafters Essential Layers, they're $29.99. You're going to get one base layer. You're going to get your 8 layering guides that go from 3/4 of an inch all the way down to 1/8 of an inch. So they work very well together. And Deanna is doing pre-orders for them right now. And as long as you order by Friday, Deanna said you will be guaranteed to get them August 5th. August 5th, she will have them in store. The $29.99 is Canadian price, and there's no additional discounts on these. And I hope you guys love. Oh, Gloria says, do you have any more tools waiting? I don't have anything else right now that I'm prototyping or playing with. But if you have an idea or something you're struggling with, let me know and maybe we can come up with something.
I want to see the rulers real quick.
The rulers, yes. So, and Deanna can get these two for you guys, and I'm not sure on the pricing on these, so Deanna will have to quote in on those. So the rulers are 12-inch rulers. Let me get it all in the screen. 12-inch rulers. Again, they come white. You can color them in black. The rulers are going to have your measurements from 0 all the way up to 12 inches. And at the bottom, they have 0 centering. So you start at 0 and you go out until you get to 6 inches. And on those, I might have a little black one in my bag. So go out on those, and that has your 0 centering on it. Are you there, Deanna? Do you have pricing on these? On that. Now, there's a couple things when I designed this ruler that I did also. When the ruler starts, the ruler does not start at the edge. Rulers that start at the edge drive me nuts because when you're doing a 1/16 of an inch, you want it to be exact. 6 inches. She says she has 6 inches. Okay, we need to show 6 inches. And they're $9.99. Where we have it start, I came in a little bit, so 0. You're going to actually start the line at 0. So when you're lining up your piece of paper, you can make sure it is exact. It starts at 0. So when you're measuring across, it is exactly 5 1/4 inch. When the ruler starts at the end, there's some of that fudging in there, and you can't really tell where the edge is on those. Oh, I can't scroll, Deanna. I don't have hands. On that. So that is the one that's the 12-inch ruler. We also have the 6-inch ruler. And I think Deanna says she has both of these in stock right now. So the 6-inch ruler, much of the same. We had a lot of people that wanted a smaller version for card making or to throw in their tote or their bag or to take with them. So we also have it in a 6-inch version. So it has 0 to 6 on it. Again, has a tick mark to start 0, has a tick mark at the 6-inch, and then it is 0 centering at the bottom and goes out to 3 inches. And the 0 centering is nice when you're wanting to line something up or you're wanting to center something. It's perfect for that. Does everybody know how to center something? Do I need to demo that? I think they know how to do that. Let's say you want to, I'll demo it. Let's say you want to find the center of this piece of paper. You want to find the center of it. To find the center, what I do is I put my piece of paper on. Well, that's pretty easy because it's 6 inches. And I basically just wiggle my ruler back and forth until you see the same mark on both sides. So there's 3 inches there. There's 3 inches there. Actually, that piece of paper is a hair smaller. So I can go there and there. I have equal paper sticking out on each side. So right there I can make a mark, and that is the exact center of my piece of paper. Very, very handy on that. So there's a 12-inch, and then there's also the 6-inch on 0 centering. Okay. all these fun tools that go together. All right, I've got everybody in the screen there. There's our pricing again for the Crafters Essential Layers. Deanna popped up the pricing for the 2 rulers. And are there any other questions? And if there's not any more questions, and it looks like Deanna's probably going to have to order some more 12 inches, she just said. So those will be here August 5th. And we will have restock of those also. So I think that's all we've got. If there's not any other questions, thank you so much, Deanna and the Clipper Street crew, for letting me take over your Facebook page today. I hope you love these essential tools. Like I said, I'm always seeing where am I struggling with my crafting? Where do I need these things to help make crafting easier or my life easier? And this is what we've kind of come up with. So I hope you guys like them. I hope you enjoy them. I hope they make your crafting a lot easier to do this. So the Crafters Essential Layers right now are exclusive to Scrapbook-N-Memories and Clipper Street. So you can only get those items at those 2 stores right now. We're kind of doing them exclusive for our 2 stores and for our crafty hours because we like you guys tuning in. So please support your local stores. And yeah, I think that's all I got. I still have comments going, so I didn't want to shut them off at their shopping. You want to sing a song and dance, Ken?
Not really, no.
Not really. I told Ken today, I said, so I'm taking over Deanna's Facebook page and we're going to demo the Crafters Essential Layers. Do you want to demo them? And he goes, I don't even know how they work. Kind of like when we came out with the ruler. I was like, Ken, I have this awesome idea for this ruler. I want all these tick marks and measurements on there. And he's like, why? So he's not our crafter. So thank you, everybody. Have a fabulous day. If we're catching you on the replay, make sure to call or send an email into Clipper Street because I know you won't be able to comment after that. He is so pretty. So thank you so much. Have a fabulous day, and we'll see you tonight, hopefully for Crafty Hour number 20 with me at 7 p.m. Missouri time, Central, and 5 o'clock Pacific. Thanks, Ken. I am time zone challenged. Have a great day. Bye-bye.